Hello, Forecaster here again, and we are back for episode 36 of the Railcraft server Let's Play. And this thing is now done. Now, you may have noticed that I've replaced these two chests with stone storage lockers. And the reason for that is that for some reason, this hopper was pulling fertilizer out of this chest on this side and pulling it into this loop here, where of course it had nowhere to go, so it was just going around in the loop, and it was blocking the other items because it kept it was filling up with fertilizer. And I don't know why that wasn't happening at first. Well, it only happened now, and I don't know why the hopper was pulling out of this chest. I assume that it has something to do with vanilla double chests, and it saw this inventory connected to this one and was pulling from both of them. So I replaced them with these lockers or stone storage, which are separate, so it will not pull from this one. Now, someone also mentioned in a comment that I could have used the comparators on the hoppers, which is true. However, at this point, I don't feel a need to change this just to be able to use drawers. And yeah, I could have done that. I also need to probably put in some stairs here and get rid of this and this, but I'll do that some other time. This seems to be working fine. We have the recycler running fine, receiving mycelium. I don't think the rubber farm is doing very much yet. I think I still only have a few trees on there. Now, in this episode, I want to get back to the robot here, Eve, and we're going to make those modifications to the program that I was talking about a while ago. So we had the issue with the resume mechanic putting the robot back into the program at the right spot. But then the power check I implemented kicks in, and it sees that power is below 50%, and it shuts down the robot again. And we want a way to start the program when power is below 50%, and override the check so that it doesn't shut down again, because we know that it's going to have, it has the materials it needs to complete the refueling process, and it will then be charged again. So we are going to go back into Notepad++ here and implement what I just said. So here we have the power level check. We're going to add an if statement here. I'm going to keep it separate. I could put it in here, but I feel it's going to be less confusing if I put it in its own statement. So to pass an argument to the program, to the script, we need to access a global variable called arg, short for argument, of course. This is an array or a table, and it's going to contain all of the arguments we send to the program. And arguments are, of course, separated by spaces, so each word would be an argument, and it starts as at one, of course. However, if you do not pass any arguments to the script, this variable will not be initialized at all, so it will be nil. So we need to check it check if it's nil, otherwise we'll not be able to run the program without any arguments, because it will crash when it tries to check this variable. So we're going to say if arg is not equal to, I think we can actually do that, is not nil, it's going to do the power check, or I don't think we can do is. We have to do that. If it's nil, or if arg position 1, argument 1, is not equal to true, but we're going to test that as a string, then do the power check. And then we need an end. So if there are no arguments, do the power check. Or if there is at least one argument and it's not true, so if we start the program with false, which will mean no override, then it's going to also do the power check as normal or anything else. But if we send in the word true, it's going to interpret that as an override. So then this will be false. Then it should skip the power check completely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find... it looks like I don't have that open anywhere. So I'm going to have to open Pastebin, and I'm going to update my program on there with a copy of this that we just edited. Like so. And then we're going to head back into the game. We're going to grab this floppy disk here and go back up to the computer here, which should already be running. We'll put the disk in there. And we're going to pull the program using the force parameter to force it to overwrite the existing program. And then we're going to copy that into the disk, overwriting what's already there. Take the disk back out, go down here to the robot, and we'll boot this up. And we could actually run the program directly off of the robot, I suppose. Although it's not going to be able to use the resume file that's in here, which is probably not a good idea. So what we want to do is from mount and then 328, 381 is the disk, I believe, and then plutonium, and then we want to overwrite the local plutonium in the robot, which we are then going to run. And first I'm going to run it without any arguments. And what should happen is it should shut back down. Oh. Attempt to index global arg, a nil value. What? Thought I put in a check for that, didn't I? That's line 49. Yeah, that's here. So that has to be that. I might not be doing that properly. Let's see. Let's have a look. Yeah. That's how you're supposed to do it. Equals nil should work. Is or not working? Because we didn't pass an argument. So arg is nil. But then this first condition should be true. So this is true. So it should skip this. Or does it try to evaluate this as well? That might be the case. I'm not entirely sure how that works. Because ideally it shouldn't do that. It should just skip the second bit if this is true already. Let's try something else. If arg not equal to nil and arg1 equal to true, then print parallel check override, else do this other stuff. Let's try that instead. We will need to grab the disk again. Pop that into here. And then get the updated program. Put that in there. And then redo that. Let's try this now. Okay, yeah. So now it did do the power check now. Wasn't there a stack of uranium there? Oh. Don't know how that ended up in there. Anyway, so now we boot the robot back up and we're kind of running out of power. If you do... No. I want plutonium, and then we send in the argument or parameter true. Should skip the power check. Oh. Except it doesn't. Why does it send that in there? It's not supposed to do that. This is a bit trickier than I expected it to be. I don't know what it's doing. Because it's not... let's conserve the power there. We're going to go up here quickly and do a little test. Let's create a file called test.lua. That's not what I wanted. Let's do it properly. And then we're simply going to print arg. And then if we run test, arg is nil. Still nil. Huh. Test stuff. Interesting. Okay. That's odd. All the documentation I've seen says it's supposed to be arg. Very strange. It's it is supposed to initialize it even when you don't pass in any argument, because I think the first elements of the table are supposed to be the script name and other stuff. I don't know. This is very odd that this is not working. I'll be back. I need to look into this. We'll be back in a little bit. All right, so we are back, and apparently in OpenOS you have to do something slightly different. So apparently what you need to do, wait, where are we right now? I want to edit test.lua, not test. So you do this apparently. And then presumably args will contain the script argument. So let's do that. Oh, right. We probably need to require shell first. Like that. Might work. Oh, right. Well, let's print one then. See what happens. Should be nil. And then if we put in test true, then that will print true. Okay, so that is what we need to do. So let's get back into here. And then we can go back to this. And we'll add shell to here. Dang it. And here what we'll do, actually, we'll add local args. Don't really care about the options, so... I mean, I guess I might as well... Let's call it... the options, sure. So, what we need to do now, if... we can actually do it like this. So we'll remove that extra if block. If power level equals 50 and args 1 not equal to Neil and args 1 not equal to true. That should actually work this time, I think. At least I hope it will. So that is going to... Did this reboot? Okay, fine. Pastebin get force, and then we'll do that, and plutonium, and then copy plutonium into mount. Did I not put the disk in? Disk down here? Yep. Okay. Put the disk in there. And... oh. It's not actually... oh, I did a typo there. That explains it. Alright. I am freezing. It's not super great. Might heat up a little bit here so we don't get frostbite. Okay, so now if we do plutonium like this, it's going to shut down again. Yes. We now reboot and pass in true, it should not shut down properly this time. Or it does anyway. Okay, so I'm doing something wrong still. Oh. I think what I want to do is actually an OR here. If arg1 is nil, or arg1 is not nil, but it's not true. Let's update to this. I don't really know what the program is doing when it instantly shuts down without printing anything. It's a little odd. Okay, download it again. Copy to disk. Overwrite. Grab disk. Put into here. Reboot. And then we should be able to copy from mount disk plutonium to a local plutonium, overwrite yes. And then we can run that again. Without an argument, it should shut down. And if we plutonium true, there we go. So now it continues. It's still flip this into there to give this back. So we don't want that in the sorting machine. Okay, so now it should craft all of the nuclear fuel, and hopefully before power runs out, get the reactor back online. That would be ideal. Okay, so now it is filling. Hopefully it has enough power. It might not actually have enough power. I really need to... Yeah. I need some more... what do you call them? Capacity upgrades, battery upgrades for those machines down there so they can store enough power to run a cycle without being fed anything. That should work. This one already has a few energy storage upgrades. To make a few more of those, they aren't particularly expensive, and you do get, well, alright, it shows you the entire stack. The tooltip is dynamic, so 20,000 is for 2. You get 10,000 EU per upgrade, as is the storage of a single battery, which is makes sense. Okay, so now this should be crafting the dual fuel rods, as you would expect. Should get 4 of those, and it's doing good on power. 50% should be more than plenty to... Oh. Looks like it's... Or am I overriding the reactor? Is this... This is off. No. Okay. That's slightly weird. It shouldn't turn on before it's put all of the rods in. This is being powered. This is turned off. That's kind of odd. But, oh well, I guess. But yeah, so that is working again. Program should continue running as normal. And now it should, if it runs out of any component again and needs to wait until it, for too long until it starts running out of power, which it will notice when it gets below 50%, the robot will shut down the program, shut itself down to conserve its power. And then I'll be able to come down here and notice that and fix whatever the issue is, and then restart the program with an override. Oh. Wait. Crap. I just realized something. That's not going to work because the override is enabled. It should only... It should reset the override after it has completed the cycle. Because it's not going to shut down the next time because the override is true. Ah. We might have to fix that in a future episode. Until then, I will see you in the next video.